Letters fly off a spinning globe from the US, UK, and Australia to spell SGK Studios present an Audio Pizza production.
I am back from CSUN with breaking news and new gadgets and everything, including the important question, how on earth do you pronounce O. Orion? Coming up next on Audio Pizza. Hello, Kayaker here, back from CSUN, exhausted, freezing. It was nice in Anaheim, I'll tell you that much, but I am doing well. And on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, in an undisclosed shed, in an undisclosed location, is Sean. How are you doing, Sean?
I am beautiful, thank you very much, Kayaker. I'm happy you're back. You made it back safely.
I did.
I'm waiting to hear all the horror stories of, the things that you did, but we're looking forward to it. But before that, Garth in Australia. How are you, sir?
Wonderful. I'm great. I've had a week of having my son visit. I've got my two beautiful girls here, and everything is great.
Please don't refer to me and Kayaker as beautiful girls. I've told you about that before.
There he is.
When the tape's not rolling, you love it. Come on.
Aye.
Alrighty. Well, I have got full of news and information, so I don't even know where to start. So, Sean, I need your caffeine and your A game, and Garth, you too, to keep me on track here. But CSUN,
excuse me.
I'll see. A game, we're talking about, the things we.
Well, hang on.
CSUN, yes.
Before,
before?
yeah,
Yes.
before we get there,
Yes,
let's talk about the travel. All right, that's what I'm interested in. The travel. How did you get on with the flight, with getting around the exhibits? How did you get on?
Well, truthfully, I mean, that's a subtopic in itself. And it's, as you know, it is difficult. I wish you had warned me. Now I know why you and Steven didn't want to go out there this year, because it's a pain in the ass. The elevators, okay, first of all, I stayed at the Hilton, which was right across the walkway. Very easy, straight out the front door, across the courtyard to the Marriott. Easy peasy. But if you were in the Marriott, I noticed that they had inaccessible elevators. So I don't know if they had that last year if you were in the Marriott, but you'd go to the elevator, you touch your key card, and then it would say, a screen would tell you what elevator to go to, which doesn't talk. It's not accessible. Go to elevator B, and it would take you right up to your floor and stuff like that. And it's just totally inaccessible elevators. I couldn't believe it. I can't believe they put on a conference in a hotel that had inaccessible elevators. Kind of embarrassing. I did hear that if you went way around back, there was some old accessible elevator that actually had, get this, tactile buttons that could take you to your room.
Buttons, no.
That's so low.
I've seen this more and more. It's great if you can see, but God, I don't know.
Have you finished?
Yeah, sorry.
Have you finished with your rant?
I'm on my rant.
Inaccessibility?
Yeah, go ahead.
Get ready to be schooled.
Okay, Sean.
I'm talking directly now to the listeners who are screaming at their devices. There is actually a button with the lift call button, or elevator call button, which is a disabled logo, I believe. And if you press that, it turns on the speech. Now, I didn't know that. And to be honest, I don't think it's a great solution to have a button to turn on speech when I didn't even know the button was there for 2 days or whatever it was. But yes, there is a make these lifts speak button.
Now,
I think that's great.
Is that at the touch screen when you go to tap your room key, or is that actually in the elevator?
That's on the outside of the walls, where there's like 3 lifts and which one's it going to be? Yeah. A, B, or C? With the lift call buttons, there's actually another button on its own, which is I actually don't know what it is, but you press that and then it will tell you which number lift it is and start speaking to you.
It's probably got the standard wheelchair disabled symbol on it, because what wheelchair
That's just what I was going to say. Yeah.
Is talking elevators.
Because I had the same response to you when I first got in there. Hang on, how do I know which lift it is? This is outrageous. Yeah. I can't have this. And then someone said, just press that button.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But you don't know that, right? And why was that? Why is it not on by default? What is the problem with having them speak 24/7.
It probably annoys the people that can see, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'll
Yeah,
tell you,
absolutely.
it is freaking...
yeah,
I
of
think it's
course.
fine. I think it's a fine solution.
It
There's
should
a
be
lot
on
of
by
stuff
default.
that we don't know how to use until we know how to use it, right? And yes, maybe on check-in, they notice you're blind, they tell you about it, ideally. Like, that's what should be happening. The solution
Like that's ever
itself.
going to happen. Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know. We've had experiences where, people, they see you rock in with your guide dog or whatever, and they're really helpful.
Yeah.
So...
And maybe in this occasion, because, they're swamped with the
Yeah.
blind. Great film, that would be. Swamped by the blind. Maybe it's a case of any other time they would say, and just to let you know.
But
if
you're obviously all here for your blindy conference. You must know all about it already.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Sort yourselves out.
There's enough of you. Work it out.
But I will say the Curb to Car app helped me find my Ubers 100% of the time success rate. That was phenomenal. Worked out really well. So again, if you haven't tried that, if you're taking Ubers, download it from the App Store, Curb to Car. What else did I use? I used the iGuide app, which is sort of the equivalent of the mini guide in your iPhone, Garth. The mini guide stick?
Yes.
I used that in the airport to sort of navigate through the chairs in the gate area, waiting to try to get to the terminal, find the path to the jetway. That actually worked out pretty nicely. I also used that in a couple other instances in the hall to look for turns, so that was kind of cool. What else did I use out there? Dropping geomarkers using blind square, of course. That was very helpful. Front door of the hotel, different locations across outside, what street corners, things like that.
I hate Blind Square.
Wait, you can't say that. That's blasphemy. You'll get thrown out of blind circle.
I don't really hate it, but
Yeah.
You just don't use
it
it.
annoys me because as soon as you have it open, it ducks all the rest of your audio. Like you're trying to listen to a
that's
book.
unforgivable.
You're trying to listen to a book or whatever, and Blind Square will just duck your audio, and I cannot work out. Maybe there's a way, and I wrote to support and asked if there was a way, never heard anything back, of turning it off, like stopping that from happening. I open Voice Vista, no problem. Open Ariadne, any of these other apps.
Okay.
They don't insist that the rest of your audio is ducked.
Mm-hmm.
Ariadne? Is that still
It
a
still
thing? I think that was
works.
one of the
Yeah.
first apps I
It
downloaded.
is. I know.
Yeah.
I still use it because I've got all these waypoints from, 20 years ago. Not really 20 years, but a long time ago, yeah.
I could never download it again because I have no idea how to spell it. But yeah, that was exciting at the time. I was going to ask, I heard, someone told me, or I've read I don't know, that Blind Square had disappeared from the App Store.
I have not heard that.
No?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
It's still getting
All right.
updates. That's the other thing, because I use it so
it can't have
infrequently.
done then.
It every
Yeah.
time you open it, you've got to go, no, I don't want to read your show notes.
Well, Blind Square was amazing at the time of release, but there are other, there's alternatives now, right?
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
options.
And look, it is great.
Still,
It is great.
it is a great
yeah,
app.
It really
yeah.
is. I just wish I could turn that feature off. I just don't use it because of that. It's just not used.
Well, hang on, Kayaker, aren't we missing something incredibly vital here? Because you didn't stay at the Marriott.
Correct.
You stayed at
I
the
stayed at
Hilton.
the Hilton, correct. That had elevator buttons.
So the app that you may have used.
the Be
was-
My Eyes Hilton integration. Believe it or not, I hate to say it, I didn't have to use it. I really didn't have to use it.
Wait, none of us have to use it. We do it for the cause.
I know. I
So you
should have. I should have
it.
used it, but everything was pretty well marked. I didn't need it, which I guess was a good thing. But that's why I did choose the Hilton, was because of the Be My Eyes integration. So I had that in my back pocket if I needed it. Yeah.
Tell me more. Tell me about this Hilton integration through Be My Eyes.
So basically, if you go to the sponsors page or the Get Help with the various companies,
Mm-hmm.
Hilton is one of the companies. So it will connect
Yep.
you to a Hilton representative who knows the property and can give you specific information about navigating through the hotel or going through the amenities in the room, the thermostat, the shampoo, conditioner, shower gel, stuff like that.
Which order they're going to be on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
on
all
the
that stuff.
wall?
Anything that you need to know. Thermostat help, restaurant help, all that stuff, pool, etc. But
Oh,
I was so freaking busy.
wait, sorry.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yep.
sorry. No, sorry. Wait, no. those 3 bottles that are always clamped onto the shower wall now.
Yes.
Is there a standardization
there's
to
not.
that? Does
No.
it go shampoo, conditioner, shower gel, or is it just random?
It's more or less random. Yeah.
It's more or less random, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
But sometimes the
disgrace.
text readers will, pop it
Gotta
up.
get onto the NFB.
There should be. It should
Speaking
be.
of standardizations, I may have said this previously, I don't remember, but it still surprises me each time that I've spent over 50 years of my life not realizing that when you press a lift, if the lift rings and goes doing doing or makes a double noise, it's going down, and if it makes a single noise, it's going up.
That must be an Australian
don't-
thing. That's not a thing,
No,
is it?
I never knew it was a thing. I've heard lifts all my life, never connected it until someone at the hospital when we were having Ella mentioned it. And everywhere I've been since, I've paid attention. A double ding is down and a single ding is up.
Well,
I don't think I've ever heard a double ding.
Well, it doesn't.
Well,
Lucky you.
yeah.
That
You've
says
never
more
been
about
down.
me. Sorry, Kayaker, we
As you
interrupted.
were,
Carry
Kayaker,
on.
As you were.
No,
But I call out to all listeners, check it out. See
Okay,
if it works in your place.
I will add that to my list of notes to check. But the Hilton was pretty good. The funny part is I chose the Hilton because I thought it would be quieter and less busy with fewer blind individuals and less chance for collision. What I didn't take into account was the other conventions that might have been at the Hilton. There was some sort of water filtration conference going on with
Ooh,
yeah, I don't like
Party.
Nike Water or something like that. And I just called them the Yo Bros because it's like at the bar, it's like, yo, bro. They're all like 20 somethings making a lot of noise. And like,
listen to
I
the
work.
disdain in his voice.
I work at the Albany plant. Where are you? I'm from the Alabama plant. Oh, yo, bro. That was great. It was so loud. And then after they left, get this, next was a cheerleader. Some sort of competition came into the Hilton. Which,
Oh yeah, like you didn't
well,
know.
I
Yeah,
made it.
like you didn't check
No,
the
it's like-
scheduling.
I made this joke. So it's like, geez, it sounds like a bunch of cheerleaders. And someone said, yeah, actually, it is a bunch of cheerleaders. We're from the something gym or something, and we're here for a competition. I'm like, oh my God. And they were like 6 to 60, this whole huge thing. And that meant the Starbucks line in the morning was like, 5 times as long as it should have been because, I need my mocha frappuccino twisty berry.
I'm glad. That's what you get for
the noise.
for turning your
Yep.
back on us. Unbelievable. The blind family. Your blind brothers and sisters.
Well, I just try to think ahead and try not to do stuff. But it was hard getting around the exhibit halls. There was no real support there. It was kind of blind man's bluff, so to speak. I'm sure I missed some things,
But you
because,
managed.
just wasn't. There wasn't as much as assistance there. You kind of hard to find things.
Let's move on to the exhibition floor.
Sure, we can do that. So, the exhibit halls were open, and this is my first time there. I'd say a lot of smaller places with some sort of bleeding edge stuff. More like I feel like the ACB and the NFB were more finished, polished products and things for sale. I felt like this was a lot more technology in some smaller places that are sort of showing stuff off for the first time. And I was really looking forward to, what's out there to help me with my mobility issues. And I think that there were about 4 companies that I was really interested in checking out and getting more info on. Or at least I should say checking out, but I found 4 companies that had really neat products that I'd love to talk about. 3 of them were sort of mobility based. I'll start with number 1, which was Glide. Okay, so I went to the Glidance and had arranged for an outdoor demo, and
Okay, so you got an actual
I
outdoor
got
demo,
the
not just in
actual
the conference
outdoor
hall.
demos as
Yep.
a pioneer, of whatever as a pre-order purchase. I had about a half hour with the unit outside, and the hardware has come a long way since I last saw it about just shy of a year ago. I think I saw it in May of last year, May of 25. The hardware has changed a lot, looks a lot more polished, a lot more robust, a lot more stable. It felt sturdy and good, like it was ready for production. Although the handle that they had on the unit was not the final handle. They swapped it out one last time. So they're swapping out the handle for a different design so that the buttons are a little more convenient for people.
Okay.
So basically, there are 3 buttons that you're supposed to activate on the handle, sort of a center one for confirmation, and then there's a left and right button to sort of, whether you want to go left or right or various confirmations. And in the unit that they had out there, all 3 buttons were sort of on what I would call the handle of the grip. As you squeeze your hand around it, you're using your index finger to your pinky to control the buttons. Like the index would control the left button and the pinky would control to the left. They're going to switch that out, and they had the prototype at the Glidden's booth. They're now there's one button in the handle that you squeeze. That's the center button, and then there are sort of 2 buttons that your thumb controls, which is so it's much more I don't know, ergonomically friendly for the hand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And reliable. And it's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter whether you're left-handed or right-handed. There'll be the left and right buttons on each side of the handle, depending on which hand you're grabbing the Glide with. So, so the hardware was really nice. It felt sturdy. It felt good. It felt very, it didn't feel flimsy. It felt like a really good unit, like they've really learned over the last year where the weaknesses were in the design, and the product was feeling good in the hand.
And so you're saying that hardware, apart from the handle, is the production?
That's what I think. So I think they actually are. I think the unit I saw still had a molded aluminum body. So the new plastic that they're going to use, it's essentially car underbody plastic, is going to actually shave a couple pounds or a couple ounces off it. So the final version is even going to be lighter yet stronger due to this automotive grade plastic that's going to be on the bottom half of the chassis. And then we had the outdoor demo, and it still felt good in the hands. But I don't want to. I hate to say this, but I was a little disappointed by how far the software had advanced since the last time I had seen it. I was hoping for a little more reliability. I think I hit a lot of fringe cases, and I kind of got stuck. I just wish the software was a little more along in the product. I think the hardware is solid, but I think the software has a lot more to go before it's going to be.
Well, hang on, the software is the important part.
It is. Yep. Well,
so can you give examples of how it worked for you and how it didn't work?
Well, these are subtle things right now that I'm sure they're going to fix. So I had a hard time when you get stuck and you basically point the device, you sort of swing it around left and right to try to find the opening. You're supposed to wait for the brakes to release. And I found the feedback of just the brakes releasing not being enough to tell me that, hey, it sees a clear path.
The brakes have released, yeah.
Yeah, I need something stronger to say, hey, okay, it's time to go. And the other thing you have to do is you have to give it a little push to get it going, to sort of give it a little oomph, because there's still a little bit of friction on the motor to lock those wheels into place. And I thought that was counterintuitive. I wanted the wheels to be totally free when I was in the spot to go. So I had a hard time telling whether it was like, is this really should be braking, or should I be trying to push it to get it past, to get it going on its path?
So you've got to put a little bit of forward pressure on it the whole time you're looking around.
Exactly. And it's
knowing how much pressure to put.
Exactly. And it will kick back a little bit too. It's just trying to figure stuff out.
Hey, dude, stop it. We're not going anywhere. Yeah.
Exactly.
But hang on. Okay. Did it find the gap though?
Yes, it did find the gap. I had two sort of snafus where it ran into problems, and I'll tell you. And that is a session just got out when I was in the middle of my walk, and there was a wall of people ahead of me just streaming out.
Yeah.
And it said, no, bro, there's no freaking gap here. And it was correct, but but I have no feedback. It's like, why are you stopping? There's a sidewalk ahead of me. I should be going through. What's going on here? So
to be fair, a guide dog would do exactly the same thing. It would stop.
I suppose it would.
Excuse me. Yeah. Hello. There's people. They don't talk. The thing is, they don't talk.
Yeah. Well, I'm a cane user, so I would I would bap into the
You'd go and
people,
trip
yeah.
a few people up first and then work
Exactly.
out that that's why you stopped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's the whole point, though,
Yeah.
right? I mean, what you're wanting there is object recognition and
Yeah.
vocalization, basically.
Yeah.
I'm stopped here because.
And again, I think this is a very solvable problem because it's just a matter of what feedback am I looking for, and that's going to be relatively trivial to implement. Whether it's a haptic feedback or some sort of audio feedback. I mean, these are the types of bells and whistles and customizations that you're going to be able to configure, I hope.
Yeah. And
to
very
make
software-based,
to make
it
it
can
work
just
for
be-
you. Yeah, this is what I consider the bells and whistles for the polished product. This is the 10% that's left to do. That's they're working on the pure mechanics of it and less so the feedback. But I think there needs to be a very good combination of audio, haptic, and breaking feedback that you're going to have to learn about to really use this device. And they'll tell you this. It's not something that you're going to take out of the box and just go. You're going to need a little bit of training, just like you do with your guide dog or cane for the first time. Yeah. So.
Okay, well, I've got to say, I'm feeling slightly
Yeah,
relieved
so far the
because-
snafu has been fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the second snafu, which is kind of funny. And you will appreciate this if you've ever been to the Apple Store. It walked me straight into a glass wall because it didn't recognize it as being as being an obstacle.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
great.
So that was the other snafu that I hit. It's
Apart
just
from the glass
yep.
wall.
So it was like
So,
So
an
what-
outdoor door. That
What
was.
did they say about
I would have
that?
thought the LiDAR would have picked that up. even
I'm
if
not
the-
sure it has
Yeah.
LiDAR. I actually think it might be all camera based at this point. Well, this is one of the things that
Yeah,
we need to learn more
okay.
about. But I think it's a 2 camera based system, and it just didn't pick it up. So they kind of said, "Huh, interesting." So they kind of logged that one, and hopefully they'll be working on that. But it didn't. This was right next to a door. So imagine the hotel door with sort of has like an open glass floor to
Yes.
ceiling stuff, and it's one of those ones. So.
They're impossible to find at the best
Yeah,
of times,
yeah,
some of those
yeah.
doors.
And truthfully, I've seen people walk into glass
Yeah,
walls
I know,
at the
right?
Apple Store.
Oh, it
happens
happens
all
all
the
the
time,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, I actually don't want to make an excuse for that. That isn't good.
Yep.
I would expect it to pick up a glass door.
Yeah.
Because it's an obstacle right in front of you, and that's its whole purpose.
I thought there was at least some sort of, proximity sensing in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you that one. That one does
Yeah, I'm
concern me a little bit.
surprised. But
I guess
it's,
at least it ran into the door before you did.
yeah, that's true. I mean, again,
It ran
it's the
itself
same thing
into
that would
the
happen
door.
with me with a cane, right? So it's
Yeah.
the same type of thing. But
You want better from that, though.
yeah, I do want a little better.
Definitely.
Yeah. But again, it's come a long way, and this for the first time, we did the transition from outdoor to indoor. So I will say that coming back from outside to in, it hit the door spot on. So I transitioned from outdoor into the convention center hallway, perfectly. It worked great that way. So this was both sort of an
Nice.
indoor and outdoor demo. So
I'm really excited.
So, yeah,
I'm still
it's-
excited about this product. Yeah.
yeah, I'm cautiously
Yeah,
optimistic.
if those were the
Yeah,
main
yeah.
3, then I'm quite impressed with that. Give us some more of the good things you took away from it, if there is any.
Well, I think it did really well on tracking the side of the sidewalk. It was pretty good on its path detection. It seemed intuitive. Like if you were on a known path and you knew you were going to take a left turn and you tap that left turn button, it was looking for that left turn, and when it found it, it was spot on. So that was really nice. So in that regard, I think it's going to be great for routes that you know and can sort of manage just like you would with your guide dog. I think that's going to be a really positive experience. So much like with your guide dog, if you're traveling the same path over and over again, I think you're going to have a very similar experience. And I think it's going to navigate you around all the, what do we call it? The sidewalk furniture and obstacles, just like your dog would. And I think that's going to be a good experience. Since this route that I took in the demo was something that I hadn't walked before, I feel like I was a little less confident of where I was going, and maybe that was a little bit of my hesitancy on the feeling of confidence in what it was doing because I really wasn't sure exactly where I was on their demo trick.
But isn't that kind of the point, right? I mean, this is where it should come into its own. It's in unfamiliar
I
locations where
I think.
Do you trust it?
Yeah, right now I would say no. I didn't trust it 100% because I didn't know where I was. That's why I was saying I think its best use case out of the box is to explore the paths that you take regularly that will make them, extremely fast. There's no question that if you're walking to your gym or walking to your coffee shop, you're going to have a much nicer experience with this than you would with your cane. I think if you're exploring a new city for the first time, it's going to be a little more difficult because you're not 100% sure of your surroundings. And I think it's not going to do as good of a job, in those environments without your sort of pre-knowledge of the path. I think it'll come along, but I think out of the box, you're going to be looking for the bare basics. And that's why I was sort of a little sad that the software wasn't where I thought it would be this close to release. I think they're walking back the feature set a little bit. But if you're expecting guide dogs experience, I think they've got that spot on. I think you're going to get your tracking of paths, your curbs and intersection stuff detection. I think that's going to be spot on like you would with your guide dog.
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't cancel your pre-order?
No, I didn't cancel my pre-order. I
think that says it all.
Yeah, I
doesn't
guess it does. I guess it does.
I still want them to, make it available out here.
I think they will in time. But, we will see. I think it's going to be a slow rollout. And I really think it's the software, it's those fringe cases, those edge cases that's going to take a long time to sort of nail down to the point where they're feeling really
autonomous
confident.
driving in general, isn't it?
It is.
These fringe cases go on and on and on and on.
Yeah. But at least on, pedestrian navigation, the set of fringe cases should be pretty, I think there are a lot less fringe cases in pedestrian than there are in, motor vehicle, road. Yeah.
And can I ask how it felt?
It felt good.
On the outside, in the real world, did it feel, I've got a terrible feeling of, like it feels rattly, like plastic wheel rattly.
No,
how did it feel?
Like I said, this felt like a solid unit. It felt very, very solid. I had no issues with it feeling. I think this is the first time where it actually felt like it wasn't held together with duct tape for a demo or a prototype. This looked more like the going to production unit type of chassis.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, no, it felt good. Yeah.
Good.
And I think they even said they're going to make the wheels another inch bigger. I think they wanted a little more to get over some curbs and stuff like that to make it. So they're going to be honking 8-inch wheels, I think, or something like that. So it'll be good.
Nice.
Yeah. No. But all in all, yes, I still have my order in. I think I just lowered my expectations of what this is going to be able to do out of the box. Yeah. But that said, that's software and that could be improved, as time goes on. And that's going to really, I think, be the indication of whether it succeeds or not. Can they roll out features and keep people hooked on it as they release new features and these subscriptions and basically the cash flow comes into Glidance to keep product development continuing to make it better and better. And I hope that's the case.
Well, they've got a couple of years before Roy retires. so come on, guys.
All right.
Come on, Amos.
Yeah.
Sort it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Excellent.
Very nice.
So, sticking with the mobility wearables and stuff like this, the other company that I came across that I thought was interesting, and Sean, you can probably comment on this. I bet you know a little about this. Is have you heard of the Capsys and the CapX device?
Yes, okay. I have. Yes, the headset.
Yeah. So, for people who don't know, this is almost like the bone conduction headphone type system, but instead of just having the speakers on the headset, they have a camera. In addition, they have a standalone unit that's maybe the size of 2 iPhones stuck together that is local and running things locally. And it essentially tries to do what Glide does without pushing the Glide. So it's looking for path detection, so sidewalk, crosswalks, obstacle detection, and all the same stuff that you would expect from the Glide. but it's giving audio and feedback through the headset based on the single camera at your head. And all the processing is done locally on this little device that you stick in your pocket. And there's no cloud connectivity required. Everything is local. And, so you can use it in the subway, with or without a cell phone or internet connection. And I found that a very interesting product because the models, there's sort of 3 layers of models, I think. I think one is sort of depth, one is obstacle detection, and the other sort of path detection. And they're running on the device to give you sort of that layered approach of, where are obstacles, how far away they are, and where's your path. And I didn't get to experience this firsthand, but it should be coming out. They hope to be releasing it in the next couple of weeks, I think they said. And if memory serves, the price point was around $2,000 for this device. So it's a bit more expensive than the Glide, but it's very portable, and it doesn't require a cell connection or a subscription to keep it going.
Yeah, cheaper in the long run then.
Yes, potentially cheaper in the long run. And it seems like a very nice companion to your cane. If you're using a cane, it might, serve the same purpose and tie into that. Sean, what do you...
On paper, it sounds great. But I've had hands-on with it a few times, but never had the chance to actually test it. The specs sound good. All done locally sounds great. And the amount of sensors, as you say, and the things that it can do all sounds great. Of course, until you try it out, who knows, right? I remember asking what was the real time, what was the response time, the refresh, and it was something absolutely ridiculously high. Like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. So I am excited by it, but it's just okay. I need to test this thing out. Like a lot like the Glide, right? The Glide sounds great on paper, but until you actually test it out, you think. I remember when the Glide was first announced, thinking, well, that's a push-along toy vacuum, and I'm never going to use it. And it's not until you look into the specs you think, okay, that does sound good. And then when you get hands-on, you think, yeah, this actually could work. And I kind of want to try the Capsys as well.
Yeah. So that was the device that was sort of the intermediates. Like I think the Glide is sort of the big device that you take out and has a lot of processing power and the cloud power behind it. This was another solution that sort of does similar stuff, but it's local and you can fit it in your backpack and just have a pair of headphones and still use your cane. And the last company that I discovered that's doing something like this is called iNavi, EYENAVI. And this product is not out in UK, Europe, US, Australia at this moment in time. It's only available in Japan. So this product has been released in Japan in the App Store, and it uses your iPhone and its camera and LiDAR to essentially try to do the exact same stuff. It's trying to keep you on the path. It's telling you about obstacle detections. And it's, if you have the LiDAR, it's using that, crosswalks, all that stuff. So they actually have a little holster that you put your phone in, like on your chest. So it's designed to, your camera's facing out and you're using it and getting the audio and haptic feedback for it. And again, so it's 3 products all trying to do similar things. One's powering the iPhone, one's running local, and the other sort of the computer that you push around with the huge battery. So I thought that was very interesting that these 3 companies were trying to solve similar problems using different types of technology at different levels. The iPhone, sort of a portable, localized thing, and then the Glide is the cloud-based and computer and sensor thing. So I found...
Do you think do you think the technology for these navigation devices, do you think it's there yet? Do you think it's capable?
It should be there. It should be there. I think we have the same problem.
But is it?
No, I don't think it's there yet. I wish I could try the Japanese iNavi app. I think that would be a good indicator of how close it is. I think it's a matter of resources. I think the problem that you're trying to solve in the pedestrian world is a lot easier, a lot slower moving than in the self-driving car world. So the libraries, the models exist to solve this problem today. all three of these companies use proprietary models. They don't use anything public. They're training their own stuff, and there's no cooperation. And that, to me, I think is the sad part. You have all these different companies trying to do the same thing, and yet they can't share resources and leverage each other's models to make a better product for us at different price points and different use cases. So
and improve it at an exponential rate then, wouldn't it? Yeah. Wasn't there an open source? I remember reading somewhere when it was talking about, reading about robotics and it was all what's happening. And wasn't there some sort of open source computer vision database?
Yeah,
where
there are
people could
open
tie
vision
into?
things to recognize objects and things like this, but I believe the CS term for this is sort of segmentation. What you're trying to do is look for the next segment in the path. So you're kind of like, looking for the next tile. You think of paving stones. It's like you're trying to find that first paving stone, and you're trying to find the next segment of that paving stone, whether it's a sidewalk, a crosswalk, a tile hallway, or a park path. So you're trying to figure out the segment, how it fits in, and how it extends the path ahead of you, sort of, as you probe ahead. And those models, as far as I know, I don't think there's anything public that I've found. I've been talking to the MIT kids about that, and they're trying to look into that as well and come up with some segmentation models, but there's nothing out there right now. There's obviously the robots, the robots that walk around the supermarket and things like that. Sometimes they use that. Self-driving cars need stuff like that, but there's just no open model that you can leverage right now, short of maybe reading some white papers to have some ideas on how to train your data. So it's a slow process. Yeah.
I'm just a little bit worried because we talk about this technology. Well, we've been talking about this technology for a few years now. I'm just always a little bit cautious of heightening expectations.
It's always been just over the horizon, hasn't it? Like it's been a promise of next year.
Yeah, that's right.
And that next year has never come. So I guess
Yeah, and you kind of think, is it just sort of not really obtainable to have that sort of all-encompassing, God, I can't speak, all-encompassing, I don't know, navigation tool, really? What we're looking for is like almost to cancel out the blindness,
and I think
right? That it doesn't matter.
That's your problem, right? What you can take in visually is so extensive, like so much information so quickly. And to try and find an interface that allows you to get enough information in, whether it be, a combination of audio and tactile, you're just not going to have the same bandwidth. It's like a fire hydrant compared to a leaking tap.
Even if the technology can recognize and categorize and do whatever it needs to do with the real world,
interface
how does it relate that back to you?
That part to me is the biggest problem. Like LiDAR and just the stuff that's in our phone right now. It's got the ability to map the environment perfectly, really, really well, really, really quickly to understand the environment. Then you've got the segmentation steps that Kayaker was mentioning, on top of that. But then you've got the real problem, I think, which is the interface. How much information to give when. And,
Well, this has been my criticism of all sort of the scene description AIs out there, right? It's not always giving you useful information in a way that a blind person is interested. It's just sort of generally describing the scene, but it doesn't really know, it hasn't been trained on what's important to you as a blind individual. It might mention some trinket on a counter, which isn't really relevant, where you're more interested in the big stuff. It's
in the thing you're holding right in front of it. That's probably the thing that you want to know about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's always been the problem.
I don't think any of this is unsurmountable.
Anything else?
It all, to me, it is doable. There is a relevant compromise to be made, but it's going to be hard.
Well, it looks like Glide is kind of leading the way. I won't lie. That's the impression I'm getting.
Could be.
Well, we don't know about the iNavi, I guess, is the thing too. I'd love to, as a purely digital product, it'd be great to see that come to some other countries.
Yeah, the iNavi, they were planning on bringing it into the United States, EU, UK towards the end of this year. So keep your keep your eyes open for that.
Keepers open.
Exactly. So we'll keep you posted.
Ableist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you know anyone in Japan who can get a first-hand review, we could do that as well. Garth probably has the best shot at that. And I think the final navigation device we've sort of talked about before, but it's the WeWalk cane again is sort of the, using AI and obstacle detection at your cane handle to sort of integrate AI, self-navigation, obstacle detection right there in your cane. It's the first time I actually had it in my hands, so that I found interesting. And it was enough to sort of pique my curiosity and interest to sort of do some more research on that once I'm back. Well, now that I'm back. And I know, Sean, you've talked to those guys a lot. So, and have you had hands-on for the latest version of the WeWalk?
I have not. No, I know Steven's got one, and he's actually liking it. He's loving it, I would say. He really enjoys it. Now, I think, as far as I know, the obstacle detection is what we're used to before. Is it almost the sonar tech, right? There's an emitter on the cane, so it's not using a camera and using AI to process the image and categorize things. It's using the technology that we've seen before. But the AI is built in to the app, and you can access it through the handle of the cane. Basically, you can control the app through the handle, and there's a speaker in the cane, so you can hear the feedback. So, and I hear, look, the WeWalk 1, the first gen, there was issues with it, and the going out in the rain was one of them. But the weight of it, apparently they've listened to the feedback, and the second gen one is actually quite nice, and a lot of people do like it. They've also, just as a side note, they've also just launched, kind of in testing form, the We Assist service, which is a video assistance. So like Be My Eyes or like Ira. So even if you don't have the WeWalk cane itself, even if you don't have the hardware, if you download the WeWalk app, you can use We Assist, and they're looking for feedback on that. I think you get 45 minutes or something like that a month just to test out. So, I would recommend that I would suggest that people go out, just give them some feedback. Having another tool in that toolbox is always nice to have.
If something available here, I will, because it's always handy to have one of those sort of products, one of those services.
Yeah.
So those were the 4 products in the mobility space that I found very interesting and really excited me in the navigation mobility space. And I'm really looking forward to where they will, evolve in the next year. And hopefully it's an exciting time and we can take advantage of them. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the year and where these products will be in 1, 2, and 3 years.
Excellent. Right. So what else did you see in CSUN? That's the navigation. Did you have any time left to look at, tech, or you probably didn't look at any Braille tech because it's not really your thing, but what else did you see?
Well, I have a special, I want to drop in my interview with Stephanie from Orion. So why don't I do that right now, and you can all take a listen.
Hi, it's Scott here at CSUN on the last day, and I am lucky enough to meet with Stephanie Robieux from Orion.
Yes.
Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I just want to say I love the app. I've been using it since it came out from day one, and it really makes a difference day to day. And I'm happy to have you here talking with us on
Thank you. That's so nice of you.
It's great. So a little backstory. It came on the scene very quickly. Do you want to tell me where your inspiration came from for this and how you formed your company?
Well, actually, I had never experienced visual impairment before. 2021, I would say. I was just graduating from university where I was studying engineering. So I knew the technical aspects of computer vision, where it was at, what potential it had. And then I met this blind lady, Christine, at an event in Lyon. And first time I discussed visual impairments, and I discovered that so many very daily hurdles were not addressed by anything efficient and practical. And so I was actually surprised that nothing existed helping efficiently without any hardware, but just with the camera of the smartphone, because people were starting to use smartphones among visually impaired people. So that's kind of how it came up.
And your first feature was sort of just to find the object recognition? Yeah.
At first, it was like Christine told me, well, yesterday I dropped my keys on the floor, and it was a carpeted floor and in the lobby of my apartments. And I spent 20 minutes on the floor trying to find them back because I didn't hear where it was dropped.
Right.
So I finally had my son come and help me finally go home. And I was like, oh my God, but this scene is just awful. Like, you spend energy, time, and you finally depend on someone else.
Yep.
So this example was like, maybe we should try to focus on the key element we're looking for. And if I'm looking for my keys, I'm not looking for anything else. If I want to find a door, I want to find precise location. And I knew many GPS were existing, guiding from point A to point almost Z, but it was
Right.
this last meter, this like the precision of the final target that was not covered.
Right. And that's fantastic because it does the door recognition in any list of objects that you want to find.
Yeah.
And you've added features since then, scene recognition, as I recall, as well as adding your own personal objects that are unique to you that you can add to the image library.
Yeah, exactly. Have you tried this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
No, they're
that's
great.
based on a specific technology that is called few-shot learning, enabling you as a person to train personally the AI of Orion to recognize your own bags, your own objects. So that's really cool to multiply the use cases for you, and you keep the info for yourself. We don't get your personal information about your objects, and that's very important for us.
That's great. And then the latest feature you've added, I think probably in the last year, is you're adding AI into the Orion. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how that
Yeah,
works?
we kind of took the opportunity to use generative AI to enhance all the features we already had. So it's still an option for the users. They can choose whether or not they want to have this generative AI. Why? Because it depends on external providers. And so you share that data for this specific part. So you can choose to have it or not. But if you have it, well, it's very enhanced and it's very nice because you not only you know where the object is, but you also know on which table it is, what kind of object, which bottle it is, what's written on it very easily. So that's very, very cool.
It is great. And there's one feature of the app that's really not available in the United States right now, and that's your partnership with various buildings and businesses in
you're
France.
Right. You're right to mention this because it's very interesting. We try to collaborate with places with making their own specific environment. So their entrance doors, their welcoming desk, the key elements of a hotel room, recognized and explained by Orion, addressed specifically to you visually impaired people. And so we want to use our AIs and our technologies that are like the few-shot learning, for instance, that I just explained, to make those spaces more accessible to visually impaired visitors so that it's smoother for them. They get autonomy while checking the menu, the prices, but also how the thermostat works in the room, and they can use it on their own, and they can find an electrical outlet on their own when they're in their room. So that's the partnerships we want to enhance. It's the business model we have so that it's free for you guys. So that's very important that our users take note of this, suggest to us places that we can partner with, and discover this either by asking us or visiting us in France and in Switzerland, because we also have one. And I think it's pretty interesting because in this way you get more service, but also it's free for you.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to expand internationally to the UK, Canada, the United States for those? So anything you could announce, or what directions are you hoping to go in the near future?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we think we're gonna go with the very big Accor Hotel brand, which we started with in France. I think we can expand to the US, to the Canada, to UK thanks to this brand because they're kind of helping us to develop among the group. So that's cool. We definitely want to have this model. It's very scalable. So we can do, for instance, the setup for a restaurant is very easy to do, even for a restaurant that is like, I don't know, in Netherlands, for instance, we can do it in remote. For a hotel, we need to be there like a few hours on site, but it's very easy to plan if we do, I don't know, many setup at the same time. Yeah. So yeah, we think we will try to find in the years to come partnerships with big brands, big groups, and especially in hotels and retail, because we also do supermarkets accessibility in those countries.
Very good. And the big news that came out of the conference today, do you want to just officially say what's happening with Meta?
Yeah, that's probably one of the most the thing I'm the most proud of today is that Meta just announced today that we would be the next integration into their AI glasses that have been existing for a while now, but they're integrating 2 accessibility apps that will be working on the glasses, so hands-free, and Orion is one of them. And so you'll be able to, without having to take your phone out, to locate the door, the bottle, to read the menu, to have very synthetic and very relevant description of the environments, thanks to our AI. So that's really amazing. Like doing it hands-free is really it's a new era for Orion.
It's incredible for us because whenever we can have the camera on our head in the direction we're looking, it just makes all the difference.
I think it's gonna really make the difference. But hopefully, we had developed our tool having this probably in mind in the back of our head that it was a tool that the software was the most important. Having something ergonomic on the phone because people had phones, but now people's are gonna have Meta. So I mean, AI glasses more generally. So Orion I think people will get now the real full potential of the tool thanks to those this integration. So we are very proud. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Only 2 new app to integrate. So Era is the other one and us. But as French small company is really, for us, it's really a big step.
Okay. And the last question I have for you is there's the big debate. The name, is it Orion? Like what's a
huge debate.
Yeah. What do we say?
In French, we say Orion.
Orion.
But you can say Orion or Orion. Both are okay because you're right. There are 2 O's. Yeah. So it's okay. It's the 2 I's. We don't. Both are okay for us. And actually, when you will be talking to the glasses to use Orion, you will probably need to say Orion more than Orion. But I think that Orion will work because their Orion is in it. So
I don't have to go back to my old French teacher and get
No, it's okay.
All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us and have a great rest of your day. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
So I think that finally settles it. It is Orion is the right way to pronounce. I hope I got that right. No, but it's funny. I ran into Stephanie, who was the founder of Orion, with
hey,
she was talking
Orion.
to Meta. Orion. Just walking to the exhibit halls on day 1, and I heard her mention Orion, and talking to Meta, and I just timed. I'm like, I love your app, and it's like we just hit it off from there. And of course, their big announcement is Meta announced that they are integrating the Orion app into the Meta glasses. So you're going to be able to use the Meta glasses central camera on your head with Orion. And I know I'm supposed to say it's supposed to be AI glasses by Meta, but hey, I'm not partnered with them. We all know them as the Meta glasses. So that's what we'll call them. I won't get in trouble for that. But that was exciting news. And the other small part, as I mentioned, was that we don't have the building or business identification that I often see in the newsletter. So as you know, Orion does all these
No,
great
I know nothing about
detections.
Orion. I know I should.
Are you
I
serious?
haven't really heard that interview yet because so maybe that will tell me more.
Okay. Well, don't mention that now, Garth. Edit this out because you just heard the interview.
Clearly, I haven't yet because, listeners can understand it.
So, so Orion does the scene recognition. It does the object detection, which I love and use the most. It's like, where's my cat? And it will continue to let me know when I find my cats, or whether it's the toilet or the sink or whatever. But in the app, there's also this, integrations with restaurants and hotels where they use their image recognition to sort of find the key landmarks in those buildings, like the front door, the reception desk, elevators, things like that. So the check-in station or the hostess station, things like that, so that you can navigate businesses and have the ability to, sort of figure out where you are and how to get to these key markers. And there's none of that in the United States, but I keep thinking that would be a great thing to have happen. I know they want to partner with other countries and move that type of technology so that you might have, a hotel chain that'll pick it up and be able to sort of create anchor points or visual cues using the image recognition to get you to these critical places that you're looking for, like the hostess station or the front desk. So that was kind of exciting because I love the app. I think it's great for its object detection. I use the object detection the most to find things that I've lost or new situations to find critical things, and it's great.
The thing with this, like any other technology, almost like Be My Eyes or Aira with their partners, with airports, hotels, or whatever. I mean, with good maps and their locations, it's like NaviLens even. This technology would be so helpful. It's all about getting it into the places. That's a stumbling block, and
we need to get to the VHS
a lot, obviously.
The one format.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, at least the Oriole approach is to not use any like special QR codes or markers that you have to post or anything. It's just using, image recognition and AI to sort of figure out your location in space and.
Yeah, but it's still got to be mapped.
Yes,
so you could say it equates to having to mark it with QR codes or NaviLenses. It still needs some interaction from the company itself to go out there and map
this
it.
is not indoor navigation. This is sort of like, critical point recognition. So it's not going to be able to get you from the front door, necessarily the front desk to the elevator, but it will identify those objects as you navigate through the space, as I understand it. Because having not been to France with Oriole, I haven't had the opportunity to use it in any restaurants or buildings, but I've been dying to.
Right. Can we stop saying Oriole? No, please. Just
Orion.
call it Orion.
Okay,
it's fine. So let Garth bully you.
Me. He so bullied me.
He's Australian.
It's not bullying when you come from an Australian. It's
not bullying. Oh, yeah. No, but it's a great app, and I know most of us have it, except for Garth apparently, but I use it all the time. And I'm so excited to finally have it on the Meta glasses, so I can be hands-free with it. That's a game changer. It's having this tech that's using a camera on your head or your glasses, and freeing up your hands is just so incredibly game-changing, in my opinion. I had a couple of other things. I did talk to the Blazy folks and saw their little Braille computer. Since I'm not a Brailleist or really good with Braille, it wasn't as exciting to me, but the technology and the form factor was really cool. That was a lot of fun. So I think if you are interested in a Braille dedicated only input computer, it's just kick-ass. It's a nice little thing. And they even have like a QWERTY keyboard you can snap on with an extra battery pack if you want to go old school keyboard. It was a nice device. There were two other Braille devices that I checked out. One was from a newcomer, Beacon Street Innovations. They came up with a new Braille display. And the history of this company is kind of cool. It was an MIT student who did his thesis on a new type of electromagnetic Braille cells. And this was many years ago. And the technology wasn't out there to sort of put this into mass production. He goes out, makes his fortune, I guess, and is now in a position of his life where he can return to his pet project of his thesis and make this a reality. Okay. So the goal is to have this new Braille cell technology using electromagnetics, and it should be about half the price of existing Braille cell technology. So he's hoping to have twice the Braille, for
the same price,
for half the price. Yeah.
How about the same amount of cells for half the price?
That would work too. But and he kind of described it sort of like a Lego brick approach. You could just keep sticking these things together and just expanding it. So very open-ended, very modular, and kind of interesting. And he had a prototype that he hopes to get to market by the end of the year.
So
as
is
well.
this a cell
So,
technology that he's hoping other manufacturers will put into their devices, or it's his own device?
He had I think it was an 80 cell display, a 2-line, I think it was 40 and 40 unit right there that he was demoing. I think it was still a prototype. I don't think it was straight to manufacturing at this point, but it was darn close. It looked pretty polished, and still working on the software. The software part, but the hardware was really nice and solid. Nice story from him. Going back to his pet project and just doing it because
he's got the money.
Wants to do it further. Yeah. And if he can license the cell technology and have other people adopt it and lower prices, fantastic, right?
And if it has,
it's a win for us.
If it's quiet and
Changing the world if you can lower prices.
Yeah.
Because there are cheaper cells, but they're slow to refresh, or they're noisy, or
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think the other gimmick that I saw with both the Braille Sense 7 and another Braille device whose I think it was the touch, basically adding touch screens on top of the Braille cells so that you can do gestures on top of the cells to do different things, like jump to the next word. So you're using iPhone-like gestures right on your Braille cells in addition to buttons.
Seems to be the next thing that everyone's trying and working out good ways to integrate that touch sensitivity.
Yeah, that everyone's trying out. Yeah. And I saw two displays of those. But again, I didn't go too deep into those because I'm not a true, Braille person. So I didn't get so excited about that. But I thought it was an interesting type of technique to, refresh to the next line or select stuff, various gestures that could be identified through just touching the Braille cells themselves. It's kind of cool.
As long as it's an actual solution to something, a problem that exists, right? I just got a terrible feeling of touch bar for the Mac or the Dell XPS.
Yeah, I suppose you got to be careful with that.
Well, it sounds like you managed to get hands-on with tech, so I'm going to ask the question. This was your first CSUN.
Yeah.
Will it be your last?
Did it put you off, or?
Will it be my last?
Well,
I don't know. Do you want to send me out there next year? I don't know.
Yeah, of course. We'll come with you next time.
Well, it sounds like a deal. It sounds like a deal. I'd definitely be up for that. But yeah, that was. I think that's really about it. There was one other company that was really cool that I enjoyed chatting with, and it was. I want to say it was Solar Grove. I hope I got that right. These guys basically made very inexpensive solar-powered MP3 players designed for, poor neighborhoods to be used, poor parts of the world to use in like libraries and schools, where they can be charged by the sun. You flip them over, they got a solar cell on one side, and you can take them to your school or library and download audio content onto them. And they are so inexpensive. And I believe they actually have a partnership with over in the UK with RNIB, where you can actually get these devices through RNIB. So if you're in the UK, you might want to ask RNIB about possible solar audio book type players where you can download content by plugging them into a library or get information. And the price point for these things was so small. We're talking almost swag level stuff. Under $20 per unit, and you could put like it's like a USB stick type thing. So,
that's kind of cool.
Very inexpensive. Yeah. And it's a way to give kids, even little kids, kindergartners or preschoolers, something that's sort of not super expensive and expose them to the content that they want.
Yeah.
That is very cool. I mean, all that technology has come down in costs, right? So much over the years, and the size of it all as well. I'm quite surprised, I thought solar panels were still quite expensive, but I suppose at a certain size.
Look, we had
these are like
tiny,
solar batteries.
That's maybe the
solar
main
calculators.
cost.
Solar calculators we had in the 80s, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. And it doesn't take much power for an MP3, right? So
not at all. Not at all.
That is very cool, actually.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that was super exciting. Of course, the Be My Eyes Foundation announcement was good, so that Be My Eyes will sort of become sort of a way to continue to have revenue to keep doing what it does.
I haven't heard. Tell me.
So basically, I think the big announcement was the Be My Eyes Foundation. So it's going to be, I think, set up as a nonprofit type entity with funds to keep Be My Eyes running for the foreseeable future as a foundation.
Okay, cool.
And not only Be My Eyes, by the way. Other, like Be My Eyes stepped in when AppleVis was in danger of actually closing down.
So
I mean,
like
it's more about building the community from Be My Eyes point of view, which is, again, very cool.
They have done so much in that respect, of bringing other organisations into that help section and so forth, haven't they?
Yeah. Hans even talked to me about how the volunteer model and the blind users went to be a huge number, over 10 million volunteers.
Wow. Well, let's hear from Hans now.
Good to see you, Hans. You're the sort of the brains behind Be My Eyes from day one, right?
Only day one.
Only day one. And then that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Pass the idea off to someone else. But it's great to see you in person here in the States. I hope you had a safe flight over. But what's going on with you? What are you most proud of?
Well, tonight we are hosting a little event where we will be giving out some drinks and so on, and we will be announcing a few things. And the thing that I will be announcing is that within the last few days we have reached 1 million blind and low vision people signed up for Be My Eyes, and amazingly 10 million volunteers. Yesterday night I was looking a little at it, and I realized that if Be My Eyes was a country, we would be, I think, the 87th biggest country in the world. And we would be by far the most friendly and helpful country.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I just think it's kind of hard to get around those numbers and really understand them. But when you kind of look into this is the size of Belgium or something like that. It's pretty amazing that so many people really want to help us as a blind person. So
the volunteer program is fantastic. I'm sure. I think we all use it multiple times a day. If it's so great. Just a logistical question for you. It's like you have 10 million volunteers. How do you reach out to the people and advertise Be My Eyes as a product? How do you get 10 million people?
Well, that's the most amazing thing, because we don't do anything. It is simply people talking about it with their friends and family, and of course Facebook and Twitter and or not X, it's called.
That's right. We still call it Twitter here too.
And so we have not spent any marketing money ever on this. So it's really people who are willing to help, and they are kind of seeking how can I be a helpful person, and then they read about it and they sign up and so on. So that's really amazing.
That is fantastic. If you got 10 million just simply sort of by word of mouth and just social media. That is amazing.
It is.
Well, I think everyone in the community really appreciates your contribution, and thank you so much for your time. And what time is the event tonight? Because I think I could use a drink after this exhibit.
I think 6 o'clock.
There you go.
And
Thanks.
you're more than welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hans.
Thank you.
I mean, those numbers are just amazing, right? 10 million volunteers and 1 million users, blind users. I mean, the ratio is just fantastic, and all done through word of mouth.
Social media.
No marketing.
I know,
it's just like, that blows my mind. It is a fantastic app. Well done, Hans. You got to say that.
I should stop feeling guilty about using it.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So many of the volunteers say,
This is my first call.
It's the only call I've had. I really want to call. So, use it or lose it, but it's going from strength to strength. Well done, Be My Eyes.
And it was fun. And it was fun to meet Hans in person, because we had known him from the Zello days and Blind iPhone and that, when he popped on channels from time to time. So we go way back.
Oh, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, way back.
Yeah.
We're very, very old.
We are.
If you want to hear some more of the interviews, then you can check out Double Tap, where Kayaker, you're a star, Kayaker, very kindly recorded some of the interviews for us. So, all right, before we go, I just want to quickly talk about AI what do you call them? AI glasses by Meta or whatever. Let's talk about smart glasses. And look, all the integration that's coming up with third-party apps in the terms of the Meta glasses. But, there's others. There's the Echo Visions and there's the Ally Solos or whatever. What we're getting to get our hands on or our faces on now is AI. Now, I've got a question because I've been testing out a few of these apps on the Meta glasses. My question is, what do we want AI to do? Right? We talked about Orion, which is amazing for finding objects. Right? It works so well on the phone. How is it going to work on the glasses? I don't know. Maybe equally as good. But that's sort of its main thing. There's Scribe Me, right? Which is main thing, as you could tell from its name, was making documents accessible, right? But all of these are adding the real-time, live, whatever they call it. On the Meta, we have the live AI, which we don't have in the UK. I don't think you have it in Australia either, Garth, right? So it's that AI that's always watching. But what do we want it to do? If you get something on your glasses, what is the use case for you for AI?
It's very simple. It goes back to the continuous polling for particular objects for me. I just want to say, let me know when you see my Amazon package. I'm going to walk around the house. Let me know when you see it, because I don't know where the guy left it. Or let me know. Wait, I'm looking for Sean. He's supposed to meet me at this train station. Let me know when you see Sean. That type of stuff.
I won't be there. The thing is, that's object location.
Yep.
That's your main use?
Well, I wanted to be my eyes for me, be my AI eyes. Yeah,
but what does that mean?
It could be something. Does this hamburger look done? Or is it burning? Is it that type of stuff? It's.
Is the gnocchi floating to the top of the water yet? Can you tell me when I get to my red shirt?
Yeah. I do want it to substitute for vision. There's information out there that I can't get unless, someone tells me what it is. Colors, doneness, is it time to flip this pancake? Subtle things like that.
Read the screen on this guitar pedal for me. Like, just keep telling me as it updates, because I don't have to take another photo and hope the menu doesn't go away in the meantime. Just keep... As I turn this knob, what happens? I'm
trying to set up this shortcut key for this new keyboard that I got, and it's not accessible. Like that, Sean and Stephen. So.
So, okay, right. I get you. AI is already available. We can do that on our phones already. Yeah? How often do you use that?
Multiple times a day.
Well, I think this goes back to convenience. And this is the reason why I initially got the Meta glasses, despite my disdain for Meta, the corporation, because the convenience to have it on your head, have it hands-free, and have the ability to invoke it at a moment's notice without having to whip out my phone is a huge win. How many times have you said, I can't be bothered because it's going to be... By the time I get my phone out and run the app and find the right thing and speak the right phrase, I could probably just figure it out by groping around and feeling it, or just, I'll figure it out faster doing it some other way. But to save time, if it's right there and always available, that's the magic of AI and what I hope it will do for us in the future.
Very cool. See, I'm incredibly excited. When Meta announced the third-party SDK, was like, well,
this is the beginning of
right? This is what we've been waiting for. Kind of my point. This is the beginning because, there's two things. Something we touched on earlier, right? You think of having live AI, real-time assistance, however you want to frame it, right? And you go out. What I'm noticing is, shut up is the thing that's going through my mind a lot. How do you got to tailor that to a very specific and individual. A lot of the feedback that I'm giving, right, and I'm not going to say like this particular app is terrible or this particular app is good, because this is all in testing, right, and it won't be fair. But a lot of the feedback that I'm giving is I want to be able to choose the level. So when I'm going out walking the dog in a route that I walk a lot, I don't want to be told the path in front of you is clear, and then 2 seconds later the path in front of you is clear. just tell me if I'm about to hit something. That's it.
Tell me when it's not clear. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to know about the car on the other side of the road that's parked across the road. Be aware of it. It doesn't matter to me. I almost want blinkers on. I want that field of view, just the width of my body. And if I'm about to hit anything, shout out. And there's been some progress in that. And then there's other times where it's like, okay, are you actually still working? I want some more feedback. I just don't know what I actually want. And I don't know what the sweet spot there is. It's very
this
difficult.
Is what I was saying earlier. It's about the UI. That's the trickiest part, I think. One of the I guess if you've got a UI that responds, AI UI, where you can dynamically update the amount of data you want, or what you want in a given context. It's going to try and guess what you want for this context. Yes, he knows the street. We've been down here 100 times. I'm not going to tell him everything. It should be able to be contextually aware and make some guesses, but you can then override that.
But I also think that the models that are out there are general purpose models. They're not trained to help us navigate. And I think that's the core problem. We need custom models designed for us that know our problems and our situations. And, we're kind of piggybacking on the mainstream technology that we can tweak and shoehorn and kind of prompt into kind of doing what we want. But this goes back to what I was saying earlier, where the scene description doesn't know what's important to us. It's just sort of describing the scene, but it doesn't really describe the scene as for a blind person would want it described. And that's what's missing in the training data. It's that type of information that's lacking. I think we need more energy spent into training models that are designed specifically for blind individuals and learning what we want. And I think that's partially why Hans and Be My Eyes are trying to pass the videos on so that type of training can take place, so that they know what types of problems we're running into, so models can be made aware of those things. And provide us those
that's what
types of
IRA is doing
information.
as well, isn't it? They're training their AI with all the user information.
Before I was testing, I would have absolutely agreed with you. But I've got to say, I've noticed that it's given me a lot of relevant information about obstacles and doorways and things that I actually do want to know about. And, is it solely down to prompt engineering? I honestly don't know. AI still confuses the hell out of me, but I just think, when I first thing I think of is, okay, real-time AI for me is stopping me hitting anything, is obstacle
Sean wants a, am I about to die model? So.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's what I want. And I just think, I'm not sure, because everyone, I said I'm excited by it, and I am, but going back to something else we said, I'm also a little bit cautious about, I hear so many people talking about this, almost like this is it, right? And I don't know. I mean, it's so helpful, but this is still AI, and those hallucinations and the response time as well. If you're hurtling down the street, and I'm using hurtling in blind metrics, it can be 4 seconds behind actually where you are in some cases.
I hit something 3 seconds ago, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, but it told me about it. Yeah, I know. I will say this, right? The reason I am still excited, I was using one of them the other day. I took the dog out, and I was testing a new build where I had said, I don't want anything other than tell me if I'm about, anything directly in my path. And I started it off, and it was silent. It said, okay, I'm turning the camera on, and then said nothing. Oh dear. Okay, walking, nothing. Walking, it didn't mention anything across the street. It didn't mention any of the curbs that was coming up, nothing. And then I got to the end of the road, and I thought, okay, this is just, whatever, this is a wash. And then I turned the corner and walked round just up the road a few steps, and then it suddenly said, there's a bicycle on the path in front.
Wow.
And I've lived here for, 8 8 years, and there's never been a, like I was thinking a kid's bike, just chucked on the pavement in front of me.
You're
So I
hallucinating.
thought, no. I took it. Yeah, exactly. I took
Tripped
a few
over a
more
bike.
steps.
Tripped over it.
And obviously, I was a bit hesitant. I took my cane out, and it said, "There is a bicycle blocking the pavement in front of you. Please maneuver around it."
Now, what app were
I
you using
put
for
my
this?
cane out.
You can't talk about it.
I'll say it was Orion. Now I put my cane out, and there was a motorbike parked completely on the pavement, blocking it entirely.
Wow.
And I've never come across that before. And it's one of those moments where you go,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, this works!" I was so chuffed. But again, it's like, what level of feedback do I want? It's still exciting, and I think it is going to be incredibly useful. I will say this: no matter which one you're using, you're going to notice the battery limitations on your glasses.
Yep.
You're going to be finding some way to keep them going, because that AI will eat your batteries for fun.
Absolutely.
So, but definitely it's exciting time. And by the time this goes out, I'm sure we're going to have a few that's actually going to be officially launched anyway. So by the time you're listening to this, I'm sure you're going to have a few on the Meta AI app. But it's definitely exciting times.
Alrighty.
Totally.
Well, just before we go, I want to do one quick shout out to bricksfortheblind.org. Completely different subject. For my birthday, Geordie got me a Lego build. And with Bricks for the Blind, you've got detailed textual descriptions of what to do with every single block. Now, I was glad I had my son with me to double check a few things and make sure I was not going wrong. But it was such a cool experience.
Was it an X-Wing fighter?
It was Kylo Ren's shuttle.
Oh, that's almost as good.
Nerd! Blind nerd! Oh, dear.
It was,
How many bricks are in that model?
that one was about 360, I think.
Wait, and there's a description.
You have to
for
check out
each
some
block.
of these instructions, and they give you some general terms at the front, like a tile versus a whatever, versus a plate versus a block, and with ones like that, they're really specifically shaped tiles,
Yeah.
so it takes a little while to get used to the terminology, and also you have to be very specific. Well, they are being very specific about placement, obviously. So it might be put the front, and that's the bit closest to you, column of a 6x4 brick on the rear of the previous brick, so the right sides align.
Wow.
Um,
Who says we don't know how to have fun? Huh? Then take a shot.
Yeah, there were a couple of little mistakes in there. And as I said, if I didn't have Jamie with me, just double checking and looking at the pictures, there were one or two in the 150 odd instructions. I would have possibly gone wrong at times, but yeah, very, very cool.
That does sound cool.
All right. Well, that's about it from CSUN, and hopefully I will be back at some point in the future. Not sure next year or some point, but you never know. Hopefully, I know initially all three of us wanted to get out there at some point, so but someone decided to be a daddy again. But yeah, maybe next year, Garth. What do you say?
No.
What do you say,
Yeah.
Garth?
Oh, thank God you meant Garth. I was
No,
worried for a
Garth.
minute.
I'd love to get out there once at least.
Okay.
Yeah. Would really love to get out there one time at least.
Excellent.
We'll make it happen 1 year before one of us dies.
That's a nice way to finish the episode. Bye-bye.
Well,
If you want to get in contact with us,
you want to get in contact before we die?
if you want to get in contact with us while you still can, you can email. What is it again, Kayaker?
Let me see. Is it sgk@theblind.ninja?
Yes, it is. That's sgk@theblind.ninja.
That's sgk@theblind.ninja.
Thank you.
Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.
See you next month. Bye.
your birthday, Garth? Did I miss your birthday?
Of course you did, you
Did I
lazy
not say?
bastard.
Oh man, I'm sorry. When was it?
No, I don't care. It was Thursday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
I usually sing you a song or something.
Oh,
Well, I think I did once. So that's
yeah, that'll do for you.
usual. Yeah.
1 hour, 20 minutes.
That was a long. It didn't feel that long.
And actually, there's not a lot to cut out either. We didn't get too sidetracked and
No.
yeah. I was at one stage I went and got a coffee while you two were talking.
Unbelievable.